Another live feed today, and today it's about some stuff I received in the mail. Another well-known carver sent me some windowed slaughter mountain as a gift, which was very kind. So we're going to dig into one of these, see what we could find. I'm going to switch the camera over so you guys can see the pieces. We'll talk about them first for a little bit. And while we're chatting, please don't hesitate to support my page by liking my feed, sharing it out. I don't know if you could share it here on YouTube, but like, follow, and click on the notification bell so you can get notified when I start these live feeds. If my views start growing and I get more members, I'll start doing these more regular. I'll get a set time. I'm happy to share my message. Don't feel free to ask me any questions you might have during the process. I will share with you, and to the best of my knowledge. Fire agate is my passion. We own the Jebediah Fire Agate mine in Arizona. I have relationships with many of the other known mine owners. With Dave Penny owns Deer Creek. John Stevens, who digs Slaughter Mountain out in the San Carlos Native American Reservation, as well as several miners out in Mexico. I've been cutting fire agate for, I don't know, a long time, close to 20 years. And I cut a lot of other stones, but fire agate is my very favorite stone. And so let's get into it. I'm going to show you the slaughter mountain that I received today. Let me switch the camera around. All right, let me get this camera situated. Okay, so these are windowed slaughter mountain. They hold promise. A lot of work left to do on these. This one looks like you're gonna have to go a lot deeper to find where the fire is at. I could see it poking out right here and over there some. Nice green showing there. Might be a crack in that one right there. This one looks like the fire is really thin. They already went through that top bubble, but that color underneath looks good, but it looks like it's thin. You can see that clear there. There's not very much fire, but it's thicker down here, so who knows? That's the fire agate. It's always a mystery. There's really good green poking out right there on the edge. This one has some nice metallic fire showing right there. And this one has some green poking out down there also. And this one looks really bright. This is the one I want to get into. There is a crack in it when it's dry. You can see there's a crack over here, or right here. Let's see if I could get it up to you guys to see it. So hopefully, I don't know how far that goes down. So it might be two stones, a little one here and then over here. We're gonna find out. We're gonna dig into this one. This one has my interest. It's got some really good green poking out right over here, and I thought I seen it somewhere else down over here too. So I want to see what's in that one. So that's the one we're going to start with. I'll set these aside for now, and I already have my 220 burr already set up. It's the one that I use when I get down to the brown, when they're basically at this point. It lets me sneak up on the fire and not burn through it. Looks like I got to change my 280 wheel. Ooh, it's getting wore out right there. Yeah. Just like the burrs on my wheels, the 280 is my workhorse also. So let me make sure you guys are going to be able to see what I'm carving. Yeah. I mean, maybe if I move the water over just a little bit, we can get you guys to be able to see more. Give me just a moment. I need to put. Give me just a sec. I thought I was set up, but looks like I'm not. Let's see if I could set this up to turn that water off. Set this up a little better. So we're going to start on this one. This is a piece of Slaughter Mountain, a window. I received them in the mail today as a gift from another well-known carver. And we're going to see what we could find in them. Let's see if that's going to be better for you guys. If I move this back a little. Put some more light there. I think that'll do it. Let's see. All right, here we go, folks. Remember, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me while I'm carving. I'm happy to share my knowledge with you guys. A lot of brown right here. I'm going to start there. So I'm just going slowly, taking off this brown. I don't want to hit the fire, just want to expose it. Oh, it looks like a really good crackle pattern down there. Crackle with green. That's exciting. So it looks like there's a crack right here in it. So there's a really bright layer right down in there underneath this top one. Wow, look at that red that's in there. See that? It's really bright. Really bright. Wipe my optivisor. You guys make sure to ask any questions if you have any. I don't see any kind of comments. Comment, like. Got one like so far. It's not very encouraging. I'm just working away from that edge. Try to get you guys closer. At least some light over here. I'm working away from this edge here. I'm exposing that really good color. I gotta pause here for a second, folks. I'll be right back. Take a little look at this, see where I'm at, see if that's... Oh. Yeah, I think the better color is down below. Yeah, so most definitely gonna go over this top layer. We're gonna lose that one because the one underneath is way brighter, way better. So, and there's a lot of meat there to cut away. Let's see if I get it to focus. There's a lot. It's about 4 or 5 millimeters between here and there. But you see how bright that fire is right down here at the bottom. And here it's nice too, but that stuff down here is way better. So we're gonna lose all this top stuff. And in the process, it looks like, um, and I'm not certain, but right where that crack is, let's see if I get it to focus. I think that's underneath. It's not in this better fire area. So we might get lucky and that crack will disappear. We'll see here in just a minute. I'm just about below it on both sides. See that? What do you guys think so far? It's a good piece, good window right here. So this is a piece of Slaughter Mountain. Or I see there's one other person here. It's a window that I got from another well-known carver. I've been working on it. It's all brown over here in this area. There's a big crack right there, but I think that crack goes right up through here, and there's one over there, but I think that's up on this layer that I'm cutting away to get to this better fire. Underneath this really bright red is probably this really bright green. So I'm cutting down to this layer with my 220, and then I'll switch to my 280 to get down to that bright green and kind of blend it in. But right here, I'm running into a little, I don't know, it looks like it changes directions. I'm not sure what's happening here. It's really dark brown there. We're gonna follow back. We'll go from this leading edge and go back to wherever it's at. We'll find it. We'll follow it. Feel free to ask me any questions if you have any. I stop periodically to rest my hand and to see if anybody's commented. If there's any new viewers. Trying to build this up. I'd like to do this every night that I cut and get more people cutting fire agate. Of course, I have an ulterior motive because I do own 50% of a fire agate mine, and I'm a Diamond Pacific dealer. So I sell the cutting burrs. I also distribute super polish, diamond, water-based diamond paste that I use to get my glass finishes. So, yeah, I do kind of have an ulterior motive. But mainly is I like sharing my knowledge. You know, fire agate is so interesting and fun. You know, I started out as an opal cutter, and as soon as I was introduced to fire agate, it totally changed. It changed me, you know, because although I've been cutting fire agate for nearly 20 years now, I have yet to master it. Every stone is different, and I learn from every one. And to be honest with you, I don't think that is ever going to change. I think that's just the nature of fire agate. It's so unique, so different, that I think it'd take more than a lifetime to master it. See, like even right here, I'm learning. I really don't want to sacrifice this killer fire right here, but it looks. I'm trying to find where this goes up here, and it's underneath that. It looks like I'm getting pretty deep, and I'm still not finding the edge of it. So folks, I'm going to try something here. I'm going to announce on Facebook that I'm doing this live feed, see if we get more people here. So give me a minute, and I'm going to see if I can drum up some more people here. I have to go, let's see, go to Facebook. Can I do it here? Hi, life. Can I share it? Let's see. Yeah. Lighting. Let me go to YouTube and see if I can share it out. Give me a minute, folks. Okay, so yeah, so can you see that? It's pretty bright. So I'm having a little questions about going further right here because that's good fire, uh, but it's better here. But I don't know if that stone changes direction there or what. So I'm gonna cut more a little bit on that leading edge. Let's see if I can zoom in. No, I can't. You see that? See, because it's on this side and it's real brown there, and I went down pretty far. I haven't been able to follow this line through, so there might be a point where I don't know. It doesn't connect, but I think I'm going to start on this side. Let's see. Let me share out some more real quick. Trying to get some people here watching this, liking, trying to grow this channel up. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna continue now. Almost. What exactly? All right, so let's see. There's a crack right there. I'll wipe off my optivisor. Okay, here we go. And my foot pedal, there we go. I'm going to switch to a smaller 220 burr so I can get down in this small area. There's a smaller one. It's a different state of wear, which is nice. When you have multiple of them, you could get them at different states of wear. Like this one, this is a good one too. It's a little bit bigger than that one. Maybe I'm going to use that one. It has a better point. That might work better. And if you pay attention when you're carving with these, the brand new ones, you could use them in a certain area just to get them to wear how you want them to wear. So you get these little points. More bang for your buck. You know, you start with a big one, you wear it down, then you get another one, and when it gets small, and then you have the little finer points for times just like these. So I don't know what this does. It looks like this might be two separate stones. This right here may be a whole nother stone, and this one is one, because I'm seeing down here it's just really deep, you know, and I can't see if they connect, and that's good fire. I don't want to cut through all that. I know that I can make that really bright. I'll show you. I can make this really bright. So I see some cracks here. There's a crack there. There's one right here. There's one that goes up here. So we'll see what happens. I may have to go down to that bottom layer, get rid of these cracks. But over here, I don't know. This one looks like it's got a killer. It's gonna be an outrageous crackle fire one, maybe. If there's green underneath it. See red underneath it. I think these are two stones. I think I think this is a stone right here, this crease, because I just followed it down here to try to get these 2 points to meet, and there's a dirt layer of dirt in between right there. So I think that stone, you could see it here. This right here is this right here was the where it separates at the bottom. So these are two separate stones. So this one is just like this. And that goes right down on the top. That's what's going on here. That's why I can't find the place where these connect, because it's down here. This stone. So I'm going to dig a little bit more. I dug right there, and I dug here to see, and that's where I found that dirt pocket. So these are more and more looking like actually two separate stones. Yeah. So I'm going to dig a little bit down here, more around here, and see what happens, because, yeah. I'm going to dig this out first. Huh, look at that. Wraps around. Let's see what that does. Hold on, folks. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I think I'm going to even try the smaller 220, the smaller one. See if that gets me in there better. This one's working good, but I just don't want to wear it out. If this little one will do. It's only got a little time left. I think we're working that little crevice right there. Oh, the light's flickering. Why are they doing that? Huh. Look at that. So now since I worked here, I'm seeing that other color all the way down here. So I think I just might take that off. We'll see. We're going to see what's going to happen here. That's pretty interesting. See what happens over here. Yeah, there's better color underneath there. Wow. Very interesting. Check out the feed. It's going on right now. Yeah, so this is definitely two stones. I'm gonna have to cut these apart. This is a stone here, and it goes right down to there. This whole other stone is a whole different stone. So yeah, that's a good idea. Let me try. I have my reverse cone burr, and let me try that to get up in there. That was a good suggestion there, Zach. Let's see. Yeah, I don't need a hog burr. I need a inverse cone. Where's my inverse cone at? I just had it out the other day. There it is. Got it. Alright, I'm going to use this one. This is a centered burr also. Let's see how this goes. See if I can get in there. Yeah, this changes directions. You know, this it goes to here. You can see the curve down right here. And this stone comes over the top of it right there. I'm going to try with the burr to see how far back. I don't see where they connect this color because this is way higher than that. And this is all, well, it's right here. It's down below. So maybe way down here where they connect. But we'll find out right now. We're definitely going to chase it and see where it takes me to. There we go. All right, there we go. Yeah, I was using 220. Whenever I get down to brown, that's what I use. Right now we're trying to see if these blend together anywhere. Yeah, looks like they might connect. We'll see. We're down right in that bubble. You just got to see if these two connect here somewhere, and then we could follow the rest of it. I think I found it. Yeah, I think I'm going to bring them together. Yep. Okay, so that's going to go together there. Well, I've been going from 2 hours now. Uh, I am gonna finish this up for now. Stop this feed. Show you how far I've gotten. That crack is still there. I don't know how long I could go with these feeds, but 2 hours seems like a long time for somebody just to be sitting around watching. Alright, let me show you guys where I've gotten to. Get you in a good spot to see. Let's see. So, I don't know if you remember, this was all brown. We've seen that little spot of green on it. But, let's see if I get it to focus for you guys. Get some better light. So, I got them to these two, they do connect. So, right in here, the color does come up and connect. I thought it was two stones, but I do see a connection point. It's deeper. Now, in order to get that layer all the way across, I'm gonna have to take off this top layer on this side because it just didn't connect right there. But it does here down deeper. It was all brown, and I dug down the brown down in that valley, and now you can see, maybe you could see, let's focus. There we go. I guess I gotta be closer. Down in that valley, they actually do connect. I thought it was two separate stones, but I think we could leave it as one. But you see how thick it is right here? That area right there, that's a lot. But that's where this layer is. This one is going there, and it's right here. When I did that top little ball section, it was actually the two layers, because you could see a little crust. Let's see. There's a little crust right there. And that crust is this layer and this layer. And that's what we're seeing over here. This layer is this inner layer. Right there. That's the same layer that's here. Now underneath all this reddish color brown is that bright green. I'm leaving that. I don't want to touch it with this coarser burr because I'll do that with the 280 and blend this all in. But this really good layer here, right? That's not it here. It's, if you go down, see it's right down here. See, you can see the separation between the two here, and see that crack? That crack has been problematic. It runs through, where's it at? It was running through here in the beginning. Remember when I first showed you, it's right here, and it's still there. You could see a crack of it right there, where you could green is popping through. So it may not be down on that green layer. That crack would probably just come right out because underneath there is all that green. And like I said, I'm leaving that. But over here, you see there's a crack there too. And this layer on top is I'm trying to get to this one. You can see the crust of this top layer. It's like a shell over the top of that. It has some nice clear chalcedony, and that is this one. This is that layer, and this top crust here is this layer. Now, what makes it even more difficult, on that top crust, you see that, let's see that killer crackle pattern right there? That is killer, but it's just on that freaking layer that I have to go through to get down to this layer. See, there's that crust again, right? The crust is this crust, right? But underneath there's that better color. So I've came a long ways. Like I said, when we first started, this was all brown. You could go back to the very started of the lead and see what happened there. So I'm going to stop the feed for now, and we'll pick it up later. Thanks for sharing some of your time with me.